So again, we start looking at it that way, the distance between other people, the distance between India and Australia or whatever else starts to disappear. So these are some of the fairly superficial differences. But of course there are other differences which are much more profound. And of course one of those things is the fact that the Buddha was supposed to be enlightened. And most of us, we are not enlightened. Now that sounds, enlightened sounds like something very, very different from what we are. It sounds, you wonder, how can you possibly relate to somebody who is enlightened? Now, to relate to this, to be able to understand what enlightenment is all about, I think one of the first things which I like to do, I don't like to translate the word Buddha as enlightened. I like the word awakened. That's one of my preferred translations of the word Buddha. And actually, if you understand, if you know the word in the Pali language, it actually means awakened. The literal meaning is actually awakened. And for me, awakened has a sense of somebody who has like woken up from the slumber of the world, from not seeing things clearly, from being a bit confused to becoming into clarity. That is what awakening is to me. Whereas enlightenment to me is a much more diffuse, a much more difficult word to really get to grasp with. It is something which has to do with the kind of the Enlightenment in the 15th century in Europe and these kind of things. And sometimes it is used of all kinds of people. We say this one is enlightened, this one is not. It is not very, for me it is very unclear. But awaken has something very, it works for me. It sort of makes sense. And maybe you will find the same thing here. So think about awakened. What does it mean again to be awakened? And one of the ways of looking at the Buddha, one of the ways in which he is different from us is precisely that he has this clarity of mind. He has clarity of mind and he has a sense of sanity. When you dream, it's like you are sort of halfway in a different world, you're not really here. But when you're awake, you have a stronger sense of sanity often. And the Buddha is like the extreme sanity that you can possibly have. It's a sanity where all delusion, all kind of misperceptions of the world have been taken away. It's sanity as far as you can go, and it's clarity as far as clarity can go.